As I always say, adding Force of Will can only make your good deck even better. All right, welcome back, vintage gamers, to a League off-stream recording. I'm trying to get another video out, and I want to do some testing. My good friend and teammate Dan Nelson has been racking up wins with my Defense Grid combo Raker Shops deck, but he is also sad because you can't beat Jewel Shops. And not being able to beat Jewel Shops is sad. So we're going to try out and revisit an idea here. I maybe won a vintage challenge with my combination of Glaring Flesh Raker and PO deck. I put those two decks together, and I had a really good performance. You can find that video. I'll link it somewhere. But that was before Tezzeret, the Cruel Captain, came out. So I feel like we should revisit that idea with Tezzeret in the deck and give it a shot. I know that Raker expert CRK recently 5-0'd with basically this exact same list. I've taken that list and done small tweaks. I went back to the 4th Sensei's Top over the 3rd Monolith just because I think it's the most important thing. And I know that there are 3 Tezzerets here to search for Sensei's Top, so maybe it's not necessary and we can go down to the 3rd top. Let's find that out via testing. That being said, we have a 20 blue card Force of Will deck, which is not great, but not bad. It's certainly around where I would like to be for this kind of deck. It's really hard to fit blue cards in when you have Tezzerets and Flesh Rakers and all your artifacts, so that is a challenging aspect of deck building here. Obviously, we have the underground rivers and Talon gates in the mana base to help support this Flesh Raker. I did go with 3 Talon gates and 2 river instead of 2 and 3. That might make it harder to cast PO and stock up, but I think Talon gates is just such a broken card that I want to have as many as possible. Sideboard I've kept mostly the same. I just swapped out the ley lines that were in the sideboard for Tezzeret targets, Lantern, Needle, Crypt. And I added the 4th Dismember back into the sideboard. CRK, when I asked, did say that the sideboard is the place where he is the most worried, and I'm not exactly sure what the deficiencies are, but hopefully we can keep track of those as we play today and maybe come up with better sideboarding solutions. So this is a test of Tezzeret inside of the Raker PO hybrid deck, and hopefully we'll give Dan something to play here that not only is powerful, but still contains Force of Will. I'll see you in round 1. Do you want to compete for custom paintings and tons of treasure chests from the comfort of your own home? Do you need a competitive warm-up for Eternal Weekend? Eternal Magic content creator Echo Baron is hosting 2 Echo Eternal weekend events open to everyone. Mark your calendars for Legacy September 6th and Vintage September 20th on Magic the Gathering Online, and buy your tickets for Echo Eternal Weekend today. All right, let's go with round 1. For all the blinding light haters, we're back. It'll go away at some point in the video, just as the sun moves across the sky. Well, it is kind of dark in here, though. Maybe I should turn lights on. I was muted. Okay, cool. So we got Captain across the table. I don't know what Captain's been playing recently, but I guess we'll find out here. It'd be pretty fun. I think this deck is quite good. It's not something I'm super interested in exploring just because I've kind of sworn off these Tinker, Citadel, clunky decks. But to be fair, this is a very good Citadel deck in the fact that it has 4 tops to go and make sure your Citadel bricks the least amount of the time. That being said, I am pretty addicted to the consistency that Lurrus provides. Maybe not even the card Lurrus, just the concept of Lurrus, the concept of not playing permanents that cost 3 or more. Like, even outside of the cat, which is good, don't get me wrong, the cat is good. But, like, just the concept of the deck where you're putting in these Thunder Trap trainers and you're doing that kind of thing, it really just makes your deck so much more consistent. You have way less failure rate. You obviously lose out on some power by not having, you know, Karns and Tinker Citadel and that kind of thing. But losing out on some power to make sure that you are always able to play the game is certainly an exchange I'm interested in. And then, of course, Lurrus is good, even if the Lurrus PO deck maybe isn't the best at utilizing the Lurrus. It doesn't do a terrible job of it. So that's where I'm at. I just came back from, I didn't come back from, I drove 30 minutes or whatever. I played in the ELD's Vintage Open on Sunday, and that was a great event. 12 players, full proxy. We had some people coming from pretty far away to play some Vintage, and I thought it was a really nice showing. I'm hoping that we can go for maybe 16, maybe go for like a 20 on the next one. If you look in the slides, there is a slide now for the next Vintage Open at ELD's in September. And so I'm kind of hoping that, you know, people will want to be practicing for Eternal Weekend. This is a great way to do it. If you're in the Northeast, if you're in the Massachusetts area, and you don't even have to own a Vintage deck, you have full proxy at your disposal. So if that interests you, make sure you check it out. And you can come play Vintage with me. For now, let's play Vintage here, I guess also with me. I have a turn 1 Vexing Bauble, so I'm going to keep this hand, even though I don't have any payoffs at the moment. I don't think that is an issue. I should also have a hard cast Force in the future as well, so I don't mind this hand. And then if we really are struggling to find power or, you know, a threat, then we can crack our Bauble later. Looks like my opponent has nothing. So I have a hard cast Force. I have a Bauble I can crack, which might not be very good. My opponent is on Lurrus, so they're either on Breach, PO, Deathrite Shaman, Frog. I mean, well, I guess Deathrite Shaman is kind of Frog, but there's a lot of variety in the combo to control Axis for Lurrus. So we won't know how good this Bauble is until later. The good news is it will always turn off Forces. I guess something to be theoretically concerned about here. Oh god, you get removed the Yogwill. Removing the Yogwill is a little sus, as is having like no way, not no, but like very few ways to remove a Bowmaster. So there's a lot of things you have to try to think about here. Okay, so it looks like a controlling version of Lurrus. Doesn't look like we're getting Wastelanded. We could be getting Bowmastered. I do have the mana to force the Bowmaster without using the Lotus by filtering with the Talon Gates, but let's definitely resolve a top here. And let's spin our top. Stock up is a great one. So we have to see if a Bowmaster comes down here. I don't know if we would be forcing a Bowmaster. It feels like that wouldn't be great. Though we could instead just fetch, cycle our Bauble and force a Bowmaster pitching. Looks like there is a Bowmaster coming. I'm kind of the opinion that I would like to... I can't really hard cast this Force, can I? Because if I do that, I need to have enough mana to play a stock up. All right, I think we're going to try to play through this Bowmaster. I don't feel like it's an end-all, be-all situation, and... yeah, I feel like I would rather... anytime you're thinking about forcing a Bowmaster, it feels really bad, because this card is just not very strong, right? I guess I will cycle a misstep. Not cycle a misstep, but use my misstep here. I have to pay using the blue, so I don't get bobbled. See, my opponent has been holding this Wasteland. I think they'll continue to hold it. Hopefully that's the case, because our stock up, I don't really want to use this Grim Monolith for, so... and I will just hold my Monolith activation. Here's a stock up. So they didn't have another land. We got a PO and a Sink in a Stupor. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take PO, and I think I'm going to take Sink. And then I'm going to cast PO. I'll take the big hit from the Bowmaster here. Because this is a PO for 5. Okay, so we have another PO. I guess it's for 6, I should say, because there's a Sensei's top here. We don't have a way to, like, kill this Bowmaster. I can bounce it with a Sync. But I will have to get, like, a Flush Raker to block this. Though, of course, any Flush Raker is lethal with these tops. If I get rid of the Bowmaster. Okay, so there's the thing. So now, do I think that Force is enough to protect this? Probably. So let's go Mox. I actually don't need Force to protect it because I do have the bobble, so let's go. Oh, maybe I should have. No, I think this is better. So if I play a bobble now, then I can still play everything, yeah. Oh, wait, no, because I still need to do Sync into Stupor. So if this gets forced, I assume I just hold my other force, though. So I guess what I want to do is just use Monolith first. So I still need to have mana to Sync. I don't know if this was like the best way to do it. Oh, no. So now I don't have mana to Sync. So did I mess up? Oh, no. I can get a Lotus. I can't get a Lotus with my Tezzeret. No, this is fine. If I just play my tops first. Okay, so I guess my 2 tops in play, and then I have exactly enough to Sync this Bowmaster and then kill my opponent with top. Oh, I don't actually have enough because I don't have an extra mana. Okay. I think I probably messed up somewhere along the line then. I need to hit a Mox here. Yeah, well, I can't hit a Mox so I know I had top. Okay, I fucked up. That's a good start. I probably had the mana there. I mean, I do still have Force for the next Bowmaster, so it's probably fine, but... Now they can play it with Spell Pierce backup, maybe. This is why you like to have like that walking ballista that you can tutor for Tezzeret with. I guess I'm going to 2. Wow. Okay. Yeah, if they have a Force backup for the Bowmaster, I lose. Wow. Okay, yeah. So I threw this game really badly. I don't know. I guess I'll have to go back. Oh, okay, so I still... I guess I still won. Wow. That's crazy. Oh, wait. Time Walk kills me? Another Bowmaster? Oh, Demonic Tutor. So now they're going to have... I mean, I have triple top, though. So they probably get, like... If they have a blue card, they probably get Force. They should have just done this Demonic Tutor if they had a Force to get Force to resolve their Bowmaster, right? So if they don't, they can't draw They get Misstep here. I guess if they don't have a blue card, they can get Misstep. So yeah, obviously I was trying to play Bobble so I couldn't get forced and then go for the tops. But maybe what I was supposed to do, because Bobble cost me a mana, right? I could have instead just... I could have just not played the Bobble and used my Force. I just didn't do enough counting. Maybe there was a line where I could loop in a Cruel Captain. So, like, I needed to make sure I had double blue for Sync, right? But I didn't have the ability to, like, if I had the ability to go Tezzeret and get Lotus, then I could take my mana and play a Tezzeret, get an extra 1/1, and then get a Lotus, right? Oh, I guess but, like, if I have to use my blue, it's really bad. All right, that's fine. Yeah, that's what I figured they were getting. me just play this in case I have like last card. They have like last card days or whatever. Okay. I threw that game in a couple different ways, but we still won anyways. That's a sign of a good deck. I would have to go back and look at exactly. Like I did a lot of things there that weren't like the best way to sequence Flesh Raker, because what I wanted to do was hold enough blue up for sync, and I wanted to play Bobble ahead of it. So I think it's very likely that I had a deterministic win there and I missed it. Maybe we'll go back and look at it. We can go back and look at it after. In the in the spirit of improvement and learning, right? I think that's the goal in any match of Magic you play, is to make it so the next match of Magic you play, you're even better than you were before. So we do know that we're out against control. I'm gonna bring in, man, the fact that I don't really have great answers to Null Rod is like really frustrating. Maybe I just bring in one Hercules. I don't even have the Merchant Scroll to get the Hercules though. I feel like a Merchant Scroll makes more sense than a Steel Sabotage. I don't really want to bring in Negation. I don't think I want to bring in Needle for Wasteland, but maybe I'll bring in Needle for Wasteland. God, yeah, it feels really bad, but I'll try that. Like, I can't really afford to like cut Karn, probably. Maybe I can afford to cut Karn. It's like bad if I get my Time Vault negated, but this is a hard deck to sideboard with, actually. Maybe I can pitch one PO here, and because I'm bringing in a Hercules. Let's try that. I don't know. The when you have these synergy based decks, it's very hard to sideboard because who knows what you're disrupting by burning in sideboard cards. How unlucky, or not unlucky, but how detrimental to your deck's power is it going to be to do things. So, all right, we'll go to game 2 here and see if we can play a little bit stronger, a little bit better. I think in general, making mistakes on these recordings is quite good. You learn a lot more from making mistakes that get punished, or even making mistakes that don't get punished. Just making mistakes. So I have a turn 1 Tinker. I also just have a turn 1 Tezzeret. So I guess we do that. I don't have a Chalice in this deck. I do have a Vexing Bauble. I can't play the Vexing Bauble here. But I think this one makes the most sense, because what I'll do is I'll just untap the Sapphire and still cast Ancestral on the upkeep. And if they want to counter this with a negation, then my Tinker is more likely to resolve. So I guess I could get Null Rotted. But then I can still Tinker, so. You always want to like bait out that force with something that doesn't matter as much. Oh, Wasteland is pretty good here, though. All right, so I think if my opponent had a negation, they would have used negation instead of Force of Will. And now it doesn't matter either way. So I will cast Ancestral, targeting myself. And now I don't know if this... Maybe I should have actually played this Sink into Stupor tapped. I was thinking I wanted to play this Vexing Bauble, but I'm actually not convinced I do want to play this Vexing Bauble. I should have probably played Sink. I mean, this is getting Wastelanded, I guess, is better for me. No, it's not better for me. Okay, I should have played this tap then. That was a mistake as well. My opponent could just get their own Vexing Bauble here, but I think they're really low on mana, so I think they'll probably get mana. Yeah. I'm probably going to counter a Null Rod. Am I going to counter Ancestral Recall? Yeah, I think I can afford to pitch one of my forces. I guess I have to use this to play Tinker. They have a follow-up Null Rod. Maybe if they have a follow-up Null Rod, I just don't care, and I just continue playing. There's a lot of mana. 3 cards in my opponent's hand. Maybe they have a follow-up Delve spell. I think if they have a follow-up Delve spell, it resolves. Yeah. Well, they have 2 mana left over. Yeah, I think that one resolves. I want to go to my turn and like hit a mana source and be able to tinker with force backup. I don't want to be using my forces. Ugh. I think I'm gonna force this pitching tinker because I think the Sink into Stupor is more important. One's left with no mana. Because this lets me play a Flesh Raker, right? Ugh, man. Immediately punished. Maybe that's silly. I mean, if I had known I was going to draw a land, then I could have kept Tinker and gone for Citadel. I mean, I have a high chance of drawing land or mana, but it just feels greedy. Also, Citadel's really bad against Vexing Bubble. I don't know. This play makes more sense to me. Yeah, so now I get to go Vexing Bubble, trigger, Sensei's Top, trigger, search. Interesting. They cracked their bauble and then negated my bauble. Okay, fine with me. 2 cards left in my opponent's hand. Do I want to? Oh, they have a force blue card again. Wow, that's why they cracked. Okay, so they have nothing left. 0 cards. Wasteland this, and I have a Raker and a Sink. Okay, I'm gonna hold this Sink. Wow, what a cool game. I'm glad I pitched Tinker, because if my opponent had double counterspell, like, it's really rough. Oh, they can buy Lurrus here and then rebuy Null Rod and stuff. That's pretty good. My deck doesn't really have answers to Lurrus, and I don't really feel like it should. Top is my best draw. Tezzer's my best draw. Another top. Well, because they would have died. I'm going to use a Eldrazi spawn to spin Force. Soul Ring. So I can time walk the... Okay, so I think what I'll do is I will time walk the Lurrus. I guess I will draw this now and get this in play now. And then attack, and then time walk the Lurrus with a Sink, and then play a Force on the next cast of Lurrus. Okay, that works pretty well. This was a cool game. This deck is sweet. I really do like this deck. Third Force is pretty insane, though. So Lurrus. Just gonna time walk it here with a Sink. Go to my next turn, where I can definitely, unless they draw a Mental Misstep, I'm resolving a top. I think I'd rather use a Drazi spawn, because I have 5 mana here to Force. Yeah. I will just draw now the Force. Attack. Even if they wasteland me, I have 6 total mana. Oh, that doesn't work, I guess, if they, yeah. I guess wasteland could stop me from having Force here. Stock up. Okay, I will force this. I think I can get enough damage in before the Lurrus happens, considering I'm topping every turn. This time I will use the Soul Ring. And then I spin another Force. My opponent is sad in chat, and they're being very funny about it. Okay, so are they going to wasteland now? Or are they going to... My opponent could have prevented this by wastelanding and going to second main. I'm not 100% sure they're supposed to do that, because they do want to get like Bobble going, but I think if I were my opponent, wastelanding me off of a blue source here might have been the play. All right, so we did win that game 2-0. Let's go back and figure out what the line was in the game 1. So let's pull that up, because I do think it's very likely I had a deterministic line. So let's see. If I go to here, All right, I PO'd and I have this. So if I want to hold my blue mana, best play is going. Okay, so I see the problem already. So what should have happened was I should have gone Ancient Tomb Monolith. Ancient Tomb, Monolith, Jet. Well, no, because I need to play both of my Sapphires before I play Bauble. So what did I do? I went Ancient Tomb, Sapphire. So what if I went, because I want to play a Bauble to beat Double Force. I don't know if I have to beat Double Force, because I have a Force in my hand, right? I don't have to beat Double Force. I mean, I could have also just gone for a PO, right? So I did this because it was the way to get everything out. And then I played Raker off of that. Okay, so how do I win from here? Because I want to cast Sync and play both top. So I cast both top because I still had double blue. But then I was out of land drop, out of Moxen. So that doesn't work. So maybe I just can't play Bobble. I guess Raker doesn't need the Mox to resolve, right? So what if I had instead held the Jet, and I had gone... It doesn't change anything. Oh, yeah. So if, instead of this, I hold the Sapphire. If I hold the Sapphire and I go Ancient Tomb, Monolith, Jet, Bauble. So I go Ancient Tomb, Monolith, Jet, Bauble, countered, play the Raker, play the Sapphire. If the Vexing Bauble isn't in play, I get 2 mana, and then I can play both tops. I can play both tops. I'll have 2 mana, so I'll have 4 total mana. I can play top, and then bounce and still have 1 leftover. If my Vexing Bauble isn't countered, then that's a problem, right? Because I'm actually back to the same spot where I'll have not enough mana. And again, I can't do things because I can't turn my colorless into I can't turn like this Tezzeret into a Lotus, which would be like net 1 mana and get me my colors back because I don't have a Lotus. So maybe the real answer here is I don't play any of my Moxen. I go Ancient Tomb, Monolith, Raker, Force Backup, Mox, top stuff. It just feels like really exposed. Like I'm trying to find a way to get Force and Vexing Bauble, but maybe there wasn't. If you have a deterministic line from this spot where I get to have double, I get to play Bauble before Raker and have Force, let me know what it is because I'm interested. I feel like it's there and I'm just not seeing it, and the best way to do this is to come back fresh at a different time. So Wednesday morning for me. I'll see you in round 2. All right, here we go, round 2. Let's see if we can play maybe a little tighter this time. Opponent is a powerful wizard across the table. Let's see what we can do. Our deck has been rolling pretty well, I must say. I got a couple different axes to fight on. I'm a little worried about the amount of removal we have for things like Bowmaster, which do stop our combo. But I'm gonna play with this Opal just in case I get like Vexing Bobbled or something. Void Mirrored. Though I guess I got Lurrus across the table again. Let's see what we can put together. Obviously, we need to find a Mox. A Mox will be great, though. Let's just play Fleshraker. Ooh, some Breach, maybe? Or some Jeskai. Looks like some Breach. Full mana here. No stock up, no buy Lurrus, which means probably... I mean, it's not negation. Ooh, wow. That's a hell of a draw, isn't it? I am going to play the Raker and try to bait out counter magic because I don't feel like this Tinker has a high probability of resolving, even with a Force backup. I'd like to get a little further. Not going to draw with this top yet in case my creature gets removed. No play at all. Okay. I could have Suplex if they're playing the newest Breach versions. Stock up. Again, I think that one is acceptable. I want to try to push through my own Tinker here. Lotus. Go. Hopefully I don't have Bowmasters. I am gonna draw with this top to get extra triggers. I got Mana Drain on my top. That's great. Okay, so now I'll move to second main and cast Tinker. We won't have the ability to like go crazy with it, maybe, because we'll have used our land, but it resolving is certainly more important. Tinker off this Opal. Pyro. Force. Resolve it. Citadel. Sink into Stupor. Huh. We just have so many ways of going crazy with Tezzeret's and tops and stuff. I think I'm supposed to bounce. I think like in a normal Esper Tinker deck, you might not use this here. But I think in this version, I am going to. Yeah, because we just like have so many tops in our deck. Oh, okay, we just win the game on the spot, right? Okay, yeah. So do I think with 2 Flesh Rakers and 8 life, I don't cast this. Maybe I do just cast this third one and then I get a top and I cast the top and then I just cast it off the top like 3 times and win probably. Yeah, I mean, that was a really great game from me. I showed patience that I don't normally have and baited out my opponent's counter magic and then resolved Tinker. And I think that was a great game. So we're up against some kind of breach control deck, considering there is Pyro in the main. I usually like having access to a Lantern, but not like going all in on like a Tormod script or anything. And then I don't hate the idea of Hull Breacher, but I don't love it either. I don't expect to get null rotted. I don't hate negation against breach. It's kind of a good card in that sense. Don't think we're ever going to be cutting lands in this version of the deck because it's just tough. I do like Karn and Bauble against this deck. So how do I board in 2 cards here? Maybe we take like an Opal out and we take out... Maybe we do have... I haven't felt like we have too many tops yet because it's just so key to our deck, right? I can't... Maybe the PO goes again. We do that. I don't know. Sideboarding is a problem here. I don't know the answers, and I don't know how to find the answers. Maybe just play more games. But that game was great. Exactly how we drew it up. So it was Pyro, Mana Drain. Oh, so it's the Breach version. Does that change anything? No, it makes the Lantern better. It makes the negation about the same. It does make the matchup probably harder in general. Does that mean I want Breachers? It doesn't really mean I want Breachers, no. I think just Lantern and Soul Guy and negation makes sense here. All right. This hand is good. I mean, these hands have been great. I cannot complain with the hands I've been given so far. Quite strong. Ancestral? No. Top? Double top. All right, let's see an Ancient Tomb and play a Jet. Play a Raker. Has a Force. All right. Fishing Time Walk. That is a pain point, though. Like, I have a million ways to get tops, right? But I don't have a million ways to get Rakers. Is there Demonic in this deck? Oh, God, there's no Demonic in this deck. It's so hard to fit all the cards you want into these decks. It's really challenging. Now they have Mana Drain up. Be really bad to get my stock up Mana Drained here. So I think what I'm going to do is see if I can get a Mana Drain taken away with a Sensei's top. That's fine. I'll do another one. I don't want to jam a stock up into a mana drain. That would be the end of the world. And I think that's a big reason why Sean, the creator of the Gifts Breach deck, has been having so much success, is that people just jam stock ups and large costed cards into open mana drains when there's some room to play around this. Not a lot of room, to be fair. Like, it's not like I have Flusterstorms in my deck. At some point, I'll probably have to. But maybe I can get a little bit more going before then, or bait it out with a, a Sensei's Top, that kind of thing. Yes, Ancient Grudge. Okay. 2 cards left in my opponent's hand. So definitely is the Sean deck. And I definitely don't want to... I mean, I can't jam stock up anymore, considering I lost my 4th mana to filter. Tezzeret, Soul Ring, and Top. All right. The question is going to end up being, like, what do I want to get mana drained? I'm going to wait one more turn at least. All right. So we're going to have to make our choice next turn here. Never going to have the blue mana to back up a spell unless we draw Lotus. Mana Crypt. So now they can cast... Now they can cast Gifts. So now we're certainly more... I mean, it's bad for us no matter what it is. But at least if they mana drain now and they Gifts on their turn, then we can negate it. So... yeah, I will cast Tezzeret. I'm going to leave open this ability to filter blue, but... okay, here's the mana drain. It's just in case there's a force. There's no force. I think I'm going to leave a stock up on top so I can hold my mental misstep for Pyro. So this way, they'll mana drain. They're going to get to go to their turn. They're going to have a bunch of extra mana. I have negation and pitching stock up, and then I have the ability to protect it from Pyroblast with this misstep, and then I can untap and go for another stock up. Oh, they just bought Lurrus with it. That's it? Oh, I thought for sure they'd have a Gifts. Does that change what I want to do? I don't know that it does. I mean, this can get like hard cast forced now. Here's the Pyro, which I had covered. They have Lurrus +1, so they have to have Gifts or Drain is the last card. Hard cast Trap. Okay, so they have Lurrus, no other cards, and I have a negation stock up, force. Okay. I like our spot. I feel like we navigated this array of ton of counter magic really well. So what do you draw for turn here? More counter magic, Gifts, pass. All right, well, I'm going to continue doing a ton of damage to myself. Another stock up. Ancestral, and I don't think I need second top. Do I want force or do I want land to go now? So if I take Talon Gates, I can play the Talon Gates and Ancestral now. I think I do want to do that. It's like a little bit on the more aggressive side, but I don't mind. Okay. All right, now it's your turn again. You have Lurrus and an unknown that wasn't a counter spell. Lost another flip. Nothing again. They had Lurrus in play here. It'd go a lot better for them, but that's kind of one of the problems with the Breach deck is that the Esper decks, both dual lands, cast Lurrus, but the Breach decks, the Volcanics don't cast Lurrus. Let's go with Grim Monolith, and then I'm going to use that to play a stock up off this. Let's try to save some life here. Academy, Time Vault, Flesh Raker. I'm gonna take Flesh Raker Academy so I can hold up hardcast forces. Consign with replicate. Wow. Okay, yeah. Yeah. That works. I don't have hardcast force of will here, which I guess is something. Opponent, if they ever find a green source, they can grudge. Okay. 8. I've lost every flip. They're me. No land again. Assume that means it's all counter magic. Unless it's like maybe breach. Let's pick a blue card for sure. And then let's play a Grim Monolith to up my mana count. And then I'm gonna use the Monolith and the blue off this to cast Stock Up. Yeah. PO. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go for it. I could even go again. Maybe I should have played the Ancient Tomb first. I was holding my land drop in case I want to draw like another blue source. Alright, let's use... I don't want to use an Ancient Tomb, so let's just use one of the blue to make the Soul Ring and the Monolith. And the Monolith. They could still have Cluster, right? But I don't think that's a problem. And then we'll play this key. And we'll use the key. Play a Tez. And we'll use the Tez. And if this gets countered again, it doesn't matter. I have POs and forces, and it's just irrelevant. So I guess what we can do is instead of untapping, we can search for another mana source. Because I'm going for the PO again, right? Yeah, let's just get a Sapphire. Get a Sapphire. I don't think I want to play a Vexing Bubble. And I think I'd rather hold a blue mana than I guess I have a Sapphire. I was thinking about like maybe I wanted to hold a blue mana, but I don't feel like I need to. I guess I can play a top. And just go for another PO. Now they have a brain freeze. Fuck, I didn't play around that. How many? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 times 3 is 36. Even if I counter 2 of these, I die. I mean, the only way to stop this was... there really wasn't a way to stop this besides playing slower. It's really hard to play slower, though, after a PO for 5. But yeah, I did not play around this. I don't have Flusterstorms, and I don't have Mind Break Traps. Not having Flusterstorms against the Brain Freeze deck, I guess, is pretty bad. All right, so I think I threw away this one. That's what I kind of have to go for, like POs and stuff when I don't have DT in my deck, right? So I guess if we had to go back into this game, should have. I mean, I don't even know, like a slow PO, maybe like a PO on their end step or something. It's really tough. I don't have counterplay to that besides going super slowly, which is kind of hard to do. That can get me on like my tops as well. I might just like need to have Flusterstorms in my deck, I guess. That's kind of gross if that's a true statement, but this is a turn 2 Karn. Maybe double force backup. Yeah, maybe the answer is like I don't have a tutor for to Time Vault, right? My way of tutoring Time Vault, I don't have a DT, so I have to like stock up in PO. But PO, ooh man, that grip stock up turn 1. Soul Ring. I mean, if I resolve Karn, I should just win on the spot. That's the good part about this. By Lurrus. I need to draw a blue card so that I have force plus. I'd have double force to beat force and pyroblast. Oh, they're gonna go stock up. Okay, I think that's fine. There's no guarantee that this like hits counter magic, and I still have the ability to go double counter, so and I think it's pretty overwhelming. So let's bait with stock up here. Let's see. I didn't hit any blue cards at all. So I guess I just go with a top and a Raker for a plan B. I can get Mind Break trapped here, but it's so frustrating. All right. Well, if I had played my Ancient Tomb and cast Karn and they forced and I forced, I would have played around Mind Break Trap. So maybe that was what I should have done. It's pretty hard to do that. They're gonna hold up. They're gonna hold open mana drain here too. Okay, I'm gonna get this Tezzeret countered. I guess I'm not going to get this Tezzeret countered. I'm gonna go Vexing Bauble. It's not the best against my opponent's deck, but it does do things. So feels silly. So now they can fetch double Underground Sea, play Lurrus. They don't get to hold up in Mana Drain if they had it, though. I can always get a Lantern if I want one. Tinker. Definitely don't want to jam Tinker into Pyroblast, so let's go with Flesh Raker. Top. Oh, I guess that just lets my Tezzeret get another top, huh? And this does protect me against Mind Break Trap. Does not protect me against Brain Freeze. See, this is like the hardest thing. Like, I have to go for it here, but I don't beat Brain Freeze, right? I just don't beat Brain Freeze. Like, at some point here, they just Brain Freeze in response, and then I draw and die. This Brain Freeze could be a problem, like an actual deck building problem here. Just did I have any Flusterstorms in my initial build? What was my video called? My video was called Combined. I made the two best decks. Okay, I combined the two best decks, and I made the challenge finals. That's the least descriptive video of all time. I have no Flusters. Okay, so it just didn't come up. I mean, Breach is kind of slowly rising in popularity. It might be something worth focusing on, but it's not clear to me yet that that's 100%. It's just this deck is going to have a very hard time with double blue where you're playing a blue payoff spell and having a blue Fluster, so that's why I'm concerned. I don't really know what the answer is, but that might be a problem. All right, moving on to round 3. We are 2-0 versus the Cat, and we have another opportunity here to beat the Cat. Yeah, this hand is a little sus. I'm gonna try it anyways, though. I think our deck has enough hits in it that it's worth it, right? Flesh Rakers are all okay. Stock Ups and POs are all good. Karn is good. Tinker is good. Tezzerets are good. All the tops are good. Ancestral is good. I feel like there's a lot of hits. Lotus basic island hand for our opponent. And Bobble. Bobble is fine. I'll be able to hard cast spells here soon. It's gonna be Ancestral then. I guess returning Ancestral to hand here does not help me, so I guess unfortunate. It's a little bit greedy if you don't think you have a follow-up, though. Because 7 cards in hand, 2 floating blue, a Bobble. You're going to just... Oh, they have a trainer. Okay, so they're PO. I think it'd be a lot to ask to sink that. So I'm going to let this happen. They're going to have a Bobble in play, which means they won't have Force Up. So if I draw a Tezzeret, I win the game. To be fair, if they didn't have a Bobble in play and I drew a Tezzeret, I probably also win the game. All right, there's a Time Walk in the reveal zone. All right, I just need a payoff on this turn, please. And that's not a payoff. All right. I still feel the general idea of what I chose to do here is fine. And we had a lot of draws that won. So this will be Time Walk. I'm going to counter this Time Walk. Our draws are still fine and they can't counter back. And they're still tapped out from Vexing Bobble. So I think I just want to give myself another opportunity to win the game here. Stock up. That's exactly what we're looking for. I got key. Yeah. Perfect. I mean, this is exactly how I drew up this game, and it's gonna be a beautiful, clean win. Vexing Bobble protecting us, even though we do have protection as well. So, all right, on to game 2. This time we got Lurrus PO. I'm not 100% sure if I like Hull Breachers in the matchup because if they're gonna bring in Pyroblast, I think Hull Breachers is just not very good in the matchup. Negation is okay. I might just bring in a negation and take out... Negation is only okay. I don't even know if I really want a negation. I think we're already kind of we're already doing what we wanted to do here. I'm gonna hit submit. I don't think these cards do anything against Lurrus PO, which is part of the problem with trying to board against Lurrus PO. I don't like Hull Breacher just doesn't feel like it makes sense because they only have PO and Ancestral and maybe Brainstorm, and then they also are boarding in 3 Pyroblasts once they've seen forces, I assume, unless they think I'm Jewel. I guess they could think I'm Jewel, in which no, I played stock up, so I can't be Jewel. So I would be bringing in Pyroblast if I were them, and that makes the Hull Breachers just kind of bad. So another hand. Another similar hand. Again, I'm going to keep this. It's a lot worse on the draw. Maybe it's not worse on the draw because I have more action slots. Even if they play their own Bobble, we're actually having pretty good spots. Probe. Okay, well, F6, your move. This is basically the exact kind of hand we had last time, though. We did have Force Up. They have another Lotus hand as well. So we both had two hands with 2 Lotuses. Okay. I don't feel like my opponent's deck uses Lotus that well. It's the Lurrus PO deck. It's a good Lotus deck, and Lotus is better. Like the Lotus is really good later, actually, but in the beginning it can be tough. Like if you go stock up off of this, it's not the best play of all time. It's usually really good when you can buy and play Lurrus using the Lotus. So if you have a Soul Ring and then a stock up, yeah, okay, that's pretty good. That is really good. So they'll be back at 5 cards. And an Ancestral. Okay, my opponent has 7 cards now, and they know our hand, and they know we have no action spells. We do have this Vexing Bobble, which will turn off Force of Will, which is Force of Will and and Negation and Mind Trap are all the main ways that this deck has counter magic. So it's a Bobble. Oh, it's a Mana Vault. Okay. So if I draw action here, I can probably resolve it, so... They're going to force this. I have to play this before the Vexing Bobble, so... They want to force this, so be it. It's actually really good for me. Again, good for them, because I can't make blue, right? So, Yeah, they negated it. That's really unfortunate. Pitching Flusterstorm. Yeah, I mean, nothing we could really have done here. They have a mental misstep as well. They know I have a bobble. I mean, if they just hit all my mana sources, I think that's fine for me. I'm okay with that. I am certainly sad that I didn't get to PO, but I guess running a PO into a negation wouldn't have been the ideal situation anyways. I guess negation would have gotten counter. Negation would have hit bobble, so for another force pitching dress down, 2 cards in my opponent's hand. Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't feel like I need to hold open force here when I have a vexing bobble. I guess they can PO and then they're both 1-drops, but it's not like they can Lurrus and return Lotus, so I guess if they go like land, Thunder Trap, PO, it does make me sad. But it doesn't even like win or anything. So my problem now is I lost 2 of my artifacts, so my PO is a lot worse. So it might just have to become a force fodder. It's quite unfortunate. And they've cast Ancestral double stock up. Winning this game would be very impressive for my deck. Saga Gaming. And Bobble of their own. Oh, immediately drew Sapphire. As is tradition. I mean, I can go for it. And I can't go for it because there's another bobble. I think I just sacrificed my bobble. I need to find more action. That is not what I would consider more action right now. It might be. So now my opponent can get a white source, buy Lurrus, play Lurrus, crack bobble, replay bobble, crack bobble, play Lotus. It's a really bad spot for me. But I mean, if it was a good spot after my opponent cast 2 stock ups, Ancestral Recall, and 2 forces, I would be I'd probably have the best deck of all time. So that's so good here. It means they make a construct, make another construct, get a bunch more mana. I mean, I think we're done. This is too good of a draw. I did say that the deck wasn't a very good Black Lotus deck, but this was a draw that made Black Lotus quite strong. Ancestral into Soul Ring stock up, or the other way around, Soul Ring stock up into Ancestral. All right, so the Vexing Bubble is going to get cracked. Interesting. Oh, okay. Sapphire, so now they make a construct. It's a 4/4. They have 1 other card plus a Lurrus still. These constructs I don't particularly care about. If I can get a Raker going, I probably might only make 1 if I was my opponent. But maybe you have so much colorless mana you don't need to. Yeah. They do need to find. Oh, there's a yeah. So they do need to find another white source off of this so they can play Lurrus. I will force Lurrus. They should probably get a Pearl. Or Opal's fine, sure. Yeah, that's fine. Buy Lurrus, play Lurrus, and they have to have... I don't even think Flusterstorm does it here. They did make 2 constructs, though, so I am dying. I'm going to force this. Lurrus, pitching PO. I think PO is worse than stock up with only 2 artifacts right now. And now they have a Lurrus and an unknown. I go to lethal range, and the stock up has to save me. But it can. Like if I draw top and I hit... Sure. I think we start with Sapphire stock up. See where that gets us. That was not good. That was not good. I can turn this Tezzeret into a Lotus for blue mana. So I could take stock up Ancient Tomb. I could also take stock up top if I wanted to try to win with a... I don't need to win with a Raker. I just need to play 2 spells with a Raker. Don't think I want a Talon Gates. I think I would rather have the extra 2 mana. I think I'm going to go stock up Ancient Tomb. And then I will go Tezzeret. I guess I could untap. What is this? They have a consign to memory? Fuck. That's so good. Okay. Yeah. Can't really win. There's consigns or there's pyroblasts. All right. I think I'm going to be completely honest with you. We put up a freaking good fight for how high roll that was. I still don't think I want negation. Obviously, negation would have been good in that hand, but like that was probably some of the highest power hands you could really even have. And we were close. Sorry, some people were being dumb on the internet. I need to restrain myself. Yeah, this hand's totally fine. We're gonna try to overwhelm our opponent here with stuff and things. I'm gonna play the key, opal, and the top. And then I think it's just an activate top angle to draw an extra card. We need to find action. It is notably not action, but does give us more mana. I think I'm going to hold these monoliths. I don't think putting them in play matters as much as spinning does. I have a PO and a Tezzeret. Okay. Now I guess my mana does matter, so. Look at me, the stupid guy. All right. Red. It's consign and it's pyro. And they get to know my top card is Tezzeret if they want. And Ancestral. Okay, sure. Yeah, Ancestral resolves. The question is 2 payoffs enough? And is Tezzeret good enough bait, I guess? Was good enough bait. So I think here we go monolith, monolith. Draw and activate top. How much mana do I have? 5? 6? Yeah. All right. I went all in. Is it good? Two threats can be a lot to deal with from this side when you don't have the ability to hold open consign and pyro and fluster and that kind of thing. That's a huge win. 3 Lurrus players 3 victories for the non-Lurrus Raker deck. All right, 3-0. Can we continue? This one is good. I mean, this is not a bad hand on the play. On the draw, it's got a little problems, but no Lurrus on the other side this time. Here I'm looking at Emerald, Soul Ring, take 3, stock up. Don't think I want to play out these cards. If I hit another Mox, then I get to play out Mana Vault. Hell, if I hit a Mox and a Tezzeret, I can go Mana Vault, Tezzeret, untap. Even play a Time Vault while there's no force, maybe. Lots of options. And of course, if this gets forced, then it's not even that bad. It's not like I win the game on turn 1 hand at the moment, but it's still a strong hand. There is our Tezzeret, and it'll land for Wasteland, and a Flush Raker. So if I were to get Wastelanded, and I were to take... I'd have to take Ancient Tomb. No. If I were to get Wastelanded, I could still go Mana Vault, Tezzeret, untap without even using a mana. So I could take an Ancient Tomb. I could take an Underground River so I have a blue source. Or I could take a Sink so I have a blue source. Or I could take a Flesh Raker so I have additional power. Like additional payoff. I think I'm going to take a Tezzeret and a blue source. This way, if I get my Tezzeret countered and I get Wastelanded, I can still play the game. I like this spot. If I had weaved a Mana Vault, what would that have changed? If I had weaved in a Mana Vault, I would have been able to tap for 2. So I could have just like played the Time Vault and the Mana Vault on this turn. It makes my Tezzeret must counter, but it gets more things down. I think that's kind of risky, but not that risky. Like, if I hit a Sapphire or an Opal, then I could have stocked up again, right? Maybe I misevaluated there. I thought it would make sense to go and play, like, the slower hand that, you know... I just thought, you know, using my one-time Mana Vault didn't make sense there, but maybe I was wrong. All right, if we get jeweled and die. Sapphire, Soul Ring, and then what? 1 ring would make a long game. Okay, it's a fetch land, so is it their own Tezzeret? Imagine if they like played a Vexing Bauble, that'd be so good for us. I would really like that. Tinker would be bad though. Stock up would be pretty bad. Okay. So my best draw is Vexing Bauble and Force of Will. And my next best draw is... I'm not sure. But Vexing Bauble and Force of Will are what I'm looking for off the top. If I get a Force of Will to protect my spell, that would be even better. All right, so what I can do here is... I think I can stock up first. So I have 3 mana, 5 mana, and I'd stick... Yeah, so I can stock up first here, which I think is going to bait a counterspell or find me force. It didn't even find me force. Wow. I only have 5 mana. So I could take Opal, Sink, and then I can protect my Tezzeret with a Sink, maybe. It's at least something. I think it's better than getting Sensei Stops. I play out an Opal, and I play out a Sink, and then I play a Tezzeret. I think I'm going to lose this game. I could like get a Vexing Bubble and then resolve Time Vault, and I'm 100% to win the game if I get another turn. But like, what is the chance I get another turn here? It's got to be so low against some kind of Tinker deck with Sapphire Soul Ring. It's not like I have a Null Rod effect I can get. I needed my stock up bait to find me Force Blue card, right? So I think the answer is just play a Time Vault. If it resolves, I win. If it doesn't resolve, I get a top. I tried really hard to bait. Stock up. No, they had nothing. They just had nothing. Wow. Okay. That's crazy. They stocked up too. All right. Here I definitely like negation. I have to consider if I want Hull Breacher as well. I do feel like that's possible. I still like Bobble. Kind of like Bobble in any matchup that has forces, so I can find it. I just don't know how I'm fitting 3 cards here. I guess I could go down 1 PO in case they're on Hull Breachers as well. Down 1 Sensei and down 1... Yeah, let's just go down 2 POs. I don't want to bring in Dismember for Hull Breacher. Though I guess Hull Breacher stops my Flesh Raker combo. I just like can't tutor this Dismember though, so like what's the point, man? That's a thing we need to figure out. We need to figure out how to best put things in this deck that can beat hate pieces. Because obviously Synchronous Stupor does that, and Talon Gates does that. But how reliable are those? I guess Talon Gates is pretty reliable for creature-based. This hand doesn't have a force. It makes me want to mulligan. It's hard to mulligan to a force, but my current assumption is my opponent's deck is very volatile and powerful. And although I want this Soul Ring Karn hand, I think it's too slow. It's not even casting a 3-drop on turn 1. If it was casting a 3-drop on turn 1 and a Karn on turn 2, maybe that's just enough. But with no force, no ability to play a 3-drop on turn 1, I think this is just... I think we just let it go. I'm also muted. Okay, so I mulliganed that hand because I didn't have a force and I didn't think it was doing enough powerful things fast enough. This hand is a little anemic, but worthwhile. So I'm going to put away one of the stock-ups and we'll go with this. I just felt like my opponent is likely a very powerful combo Tinker deck, and I didn't want to have no interaction and no early plays, so... Fixing all that in editing, I guess, but... happens. All right, what do we got? Mox. Mnemonic Tutor, Time Vault. I'm certainly glad I have multiple forces. That's for sure. Petal. 3 cards in my opponent's hand. Go. All right. Is it Ancestral off Petal or no? I'm going to hold on to the Sink into Stupor. Maybe it'll cost me 3 life later, but what it does is gives me additional blue cards to pitch to force, which looks like it might be relevant here. We'll see what happens. I don't mind taking this hand and playing the controlling role. Especially when my opponent's going all in. Not all in, but, you know, they kept a hand that had no blue sources. A lot of all in on Time Vault. Hopefully they, like, crack this Petal and they go for, like, Tinker or Tezzeret. Tinker. Okay, great. They're using up tons of resources. I've got double force here. See if they have force back. Makes sense for them to have force back. I'm going to pitch this Mental Misstep so I can get closer to stock up. I lied. I'm going to pitch the Sink and hold the Mental Misstep for a key. It's the only way I can lose. All right. I do need to hit mana, though. I did put myself in that spot. All right. That doesn't cast stock up yet, but it will cast stock up on any other mana source. And this prevents me from getting, like, random keyed and losing. So I kind of like this play. I have lots of mana sources in my deck, so... Flesh Raker is totally fine. Get this game going. Also means I can get extra mana off of Colorless to help me cast the stock up. Oh, their workshop. Huh. Okay, I didn't see that coming. So their blue workshop deck, I guess. That's huge. That's crazy. It's a really big deal. Tezzeret. Oh, that's got to be nuts here, right? Tezzeret gives me a thing. I find a top, I guess. Do I want to find a top, or do I want to get a Lotus and cast stock up? I think I'd rather cast stock up. I'll find tops. I can always tutor again, too. I think I'm going to use 1 spawn and 2 colorless so that I can still cast like Time Walk and Ancestral. Tinker, Jet, Hole Breacher. Wow. Let's do, I mean, Citadel is Citadel, right? I mean, I really want to do Hole Breacher, but I can't imagine that Tinker is like not better than that, so. There's just like no way that's not better. I can find a Hole Breacher off my Citadel. Well, they are off it. I don't know if I would concede yet if I was my opponent, but they're off it. So this river, yeah, I would immediately brick and lose. It's crazy, actually. Probably shouldn't. My opponent should not have conceded. Maybe I'm just supposed to go Hold Breacher there. I just feel like the number of times I can whiff on the Citadel with a land drop to give has got to be super low, and most of my whiffs are going to be counter spells. I actually think I could have lost from this spot. If my opponent watches this back, then just let it go for a little bit longer. You could always at least go and see if they brick on land, which I did. I still think, nah, I guess Hull Breacher is just always going to be good, right? It's always stopping the ring immediately. It means they can't like PO or anything. I can think, and I still have Mental Misstep to cover me, and I'll be able to tutor for a top on the next turn anyways. Okay, it was wrong. It was bad. I should have just gone the Hull Breacher, but I do think that like my deck with Citadel is gonna brick so few times, right? I have 9. I have 9 bricks left in my deck. 9. No, these aren't even bricks. So I have I have 9 bricks left in my deck after I take away 2 lands. So the probability that my top 2 cards are both lands after, and there's only 7 lands in my 45 remaining cards. That's so low. The probability of that is so low. And then like every Tezzeret and every top wins the game on the spot. Yeah, that's bad. Okay. I don't know. Like this is a really bad case of RNG. But I'm no stranger to that. All right, 5th and final round versus Clap Clap himself. Can we be the luckiest gamer and 5-0? That's a good start. I think here I have Ancient Tomb, Mana Crypt, Raker, Manifold Key, Opal, PO. Because I can use the key to untap the Mana Vault. PO for 3. I think I'm going to keep the Raker in play. Maybe it was bad to keep the Raker in play. I mean, this Vexing Bubble is great. I don't know. One more card versus that. I also have hard count. I can put the Talon Gates into play. They might concede to not show me. No, Workshop. Trinisphere. Okay. Let's draw a card. All right. Yeah, Trinisphere is good. Sensei's top. Guess we'll pay a bunch of mana for it. Monolith, Ruby, Sync. So Sync can push this Trinisphere away. So let's just play this. I think I'll hold on to this Opal, and then I'll just draw this now and attack. And then if I play my top next turn and spin and see something I want, I can sync this. Or I can sync like a ring here. I did, maybe I should have kept the Vexing Bauble. I don't think so. It's a ring. Yeah. Would I rather sync the ring? I think I'd rather just sync the ring than sync the Trinisphere. Let's bounce that. They're at 9. I'm at pretty low number 2. I have another top. How many of these can I cast? I think enough, right? I'm not dying to my own mana crypt, so put my opponent to 1. They can't use the Ancient Tomb now. I guess if they have another workshop, they can play a ring. And then I could lose both my mana crypt flips, maybe. It worked out pretty well. Maybe I was supposed to put my opponent at 2. So I don't lose both my mana crypt flips and die. Wow. Yeah, I could lose here. Oh, wow. Because the ring gave the Ancient Tomb turned off. So if I lose both my crypt flips... I need to find a Tinker, a Sync. Sync is at least something that does something, but I could definitely just lose both crypts and die here. At least the Tezzeret can't search. Wow, I can't believe this just happened. I should have maybe not used my Ancient Tomb. Wow. Maybe I need to leave my opponent at 2 life and not use my Ancient Tomb. I didn't think about that. That was bad play. They didn't even want to go for the crypt flip? Oh, Matthias. You have a 50% chance of winning the game. I got a bunch of paid actors on my stream, huh? Jesus. Yeah, I wish I hadn't played and used my Ancient Tomb to put my opponent to 1, because 2 and 1 are functionally the same, but if 3 crypt flips is different than 2 crypt flips, right? So that was a mistake on my part. I didn't see it, and didn't get punished, though. I don't know why my opponent conceded. Maybe they didn't see the mana crypt in play. Don't know how you can't see the mana crypt in play, because it's a huge deal. It's my own life total, but I'm going to bring in Hull Breachers and anti-artifact cards. And then I'm going to trim on, God, I don't know. The Vexing Bauble I don't really like in this matchup. I do need all my blue sources, though. Maybe I'll trim a Top and a Tezzeret. Maybe I'll trim a Monolith and a PO. Mental Misstep. Do I want Mental Misstep? I think I do. I'll just trim 2 POs. I don't know. Just trying to find things to trim so we can continue here. Almost there, though. Almost at the 5-0. I don't know why. I think Matthias just must have not seen 3 life and Mana Crypt in play. Obviously, I'm still 50% to win that game, but yeah, if I could go back, I would definitely not play the last Sensei's Top, because the 1 life doesn't matter. But the 2 life I lost did matter, so. All right. You got to get a little lucky to win any event, and a 5-0 league is no exception. This hand slaps. This hand is great. I'm in. I've got turn 1 Flesh Raker as bait. I've got theoretical blue card Force Tinker with an extra blue source or an extra blue card. I've got the ability to force on turn 1 to protect me from rings and jewels and things. So I'm in. Ancient Tomb. Mana Vault. 3 cards remaining Karn. Yeah, I mean, I'll force a Karn. Force back. So turn 1 Karn with force back up out of Jewel. Not the best for me, but I do have a Flesh Raker, so I think we can win this game. What do they have to tutor for here? They only have 2 mana right now. Do they have a key in their sideboard, maybe? Board out a key. Coveted Jewel in their sideboard. Okay, they're pretty far from casting that. We technically have a Tinker on the next turn as well. It's probably better, considering I have Sink into Stupors I can hit. Can't use Tops, but I'll have a lot of life to work with. I'll have 16 life to work with. I gotta see how this turn goes. If they're threatening to Jewel on the next turn, then I think I want to Tinker. But if they're not, then maybe I just want to play a Fresh Rigger first. Key. Untap Vault. Tezzeret? Time Vault. Okay, so they win on the next turn. So I gotta hope this Tinker hits me some good stuff. Because their hand is Jewel. I assume they kept Vexing Bauble in, so they can't go Bauble here. So they might have like a Needle, maybe, or something. All right, if this Tinker can hit Sink and then we win, that'd be pretty sick. It's 2 Jewels. Okay. Stock up. Come on, game. Help a guy out. Citadel. Negation. All right. Well, I'm gonna see if my Mana Vault and Ancient Tomb kill my opponent. Let's see. Because I can still negate a spell and then find a sync as well. Negation was a turn too late here. Would have been pretty good though. 10 life. 8 life. Plus. Seven life. I'm gonna make my opponent play out their life loss. This is how I can win. I still have some options off here too. If I like hit Hercules or Sync or Sabotage. All right, they're tutoring for something. So far, they tutored for Jewel, which didn't do anything and probably won't do anything. What are they tutoring for now? Cage. I will negate this cage, and I hit Sync. Oh my god, I hit Sync. I'm gonna bounce the Time Vault. I'm gonna get Clap Claps for this play. Now I get to go to my turn. They can replay Time Vault if they want. They're at 3. So I play Raker. I play Emerald. I play PO on my Emerald. And I play Grim Monolith. Oh, baby, that's a clean 5-0. We're in pretty hot. Good things happened. This deck is sick. This deck is sweet. What do I even say? I don't know. I think this deck has a bunch of holes in it, and I think they can be fixed, but the core power of this deck is very high. Very, very high. I think Raker Top is great. I think Tezzeret is a perfect addition to Raker Top. Stock Up and PO are clearly good. Force is amazing to have in your deck. You have some life total issues with like Ancient Tomb. You have some blue issues in terms of being able to cast your spells. You have some blue issues in terms of being able to pitch the Force. And I think we have currently have some issues in maybe being able to deal with problem permanence, but I don't know. We got to do Tinker in this series. We got to do Infinite Turns. We got to do Tops. We got to just attack. It was a sweet one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. More vintage content on this YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you then.